Have you ever wondered if there could be a better response to mental health crises than calling the police? This is a question that has been on many minds lately, and it's one that deserves our attention and thoughtful consideration. In the current paradigm, when a mental health crisis occurs, it's often the police who are the first responders. But is this really the best solution? Let's delve a little deeper into why this might not always be the most effective approach. Firstly, while the police play an important role in our society, they are not typically trained to handle mental health crises. Their training focuses more on law enforcement and public safety, which might not equip them with the necessary skills to address a mental health crisis adequately. The absence of this specialized training can sometimes lead to misunderstandings and even escalation of the situation. Secondly, the involvement of the police can inadvertently contribute to the criminalization of mental health issues. This happens when individuals in crisis are treated as criminals rather than as people who are in need of help. It can lead to a cycle of arrest and incarceration, further exacerbating the individual's mental health issues and potentially deterring them from seeking help in the future. Lastly, the police-centric approach can sometimes overshadow the importance of other potential sources of help, such as mental health professionals, social workers, and community support networks. These resources are often better equipped to provide the necessary care, support, and follow-up that individuals in crisis need. So, if the current approach has these shortcomings, what can we do differently? Are there better ways to respond to mental health crises that prioritize the well-being of the individual in crisis and ensure their safety, as well as that of the community? It's time for a change. Let's explore some alternatives. It's time to shift the paradigm and rethink how we respond to mental health crises. Stay tuned as we delve into this important topic further. Before we continue, remember to hit that subscribe button. By subscribing, you'll join our community of like-minded individuals. Together, we can achieve success and wealth as we learn, grow, and support each other. Click subscribe now, and let's dive back into today's topic. So, what are some alternatives to calling the police in a mental health crisis? Let's delve into that. One of the primary alternatives to consider is mental health crisis lines. These are toll-free numbers that connect you to trained professionals who can provide immediate assistance. They're equipped to handle a wide range of crises, from anxiety attacks to suicidal ideation, in a compassionate and understanding manner. They're available round the clock, ensuring that help is just a call away, no matter the time of day. Another powerful resource is mobile crisis teams. These are groups of mental health professionals who can be dispatched to a person in crisis. Unlike traditional law enforcement, these teams are trained to de-escalate mental health emergencies, providing immediate, on-site care. They can also guide the individual to appropriate long-term resources, ensuring that the crisis is not just averted, but also prevented from recurring. Lastly, we have peer support hotlines. These services connect individuals in crisis with people who have lived through similar experiences. There's immense value in talking to someone who has walked the same path and come out the other side. They understand the intricacies of the struggle, offering empathy and reassurance that can be incredibly comforting in a moment of crisis. These alternatives to calling the police are not just about managing the immediate crisis. They're about providing the right kind of help in the right way at the right time. They're about understanding that a mental health crisis is not a crime, but a cry for help. And they're about respecting the dignity and rights of the individual in crisis. It's important to note that these resources are not meant to completely replace emergency services in all situations. However, they offer a more nuanced and compassionate approach to mental health emergencies, which can often be more effective and less traumatic than traditional law enforcement intervention. Remember, these alternatives are not only more effective, but they also respect the dignity and rights of individuals experiencing a mental health crisis. Now that we know there are alternatives, how can we access these resources? Let's dive right in. In the midst of a mental health crisis, it can seem overwhelming to navigate the various lines and resources available. But fear not, it's easier than you might think. The first step is to familiarize yourself with the crisis lines and resources in your area. These can be found with a simple online search or by reaching out to your local mental health organizations. When you call a crisis line, here's what you can expect. First, you'll be connected to a trained counselor who is there to listen, provide support, and help you through your crisis. These professionals are equipped with the skills and knowledge to guide you through your feelings and concerns. You won't be judged or belittled, and the conversation will remain confidential. The counselor will ask you a series of questions to better understand your situation. It's crucial to be as open and honest as you can. Remember, they're not there to criticize you, but to provide you with the support you need. You might be wondering what happens next. After the call, the counselor will assess your situation and provide you with a range of options, depending on your unique circumstances. This can include connecting you with local mental health services, recommending further counseling, or providing you with tools and strategies to manage your crisis at home. Remember, these resources are not just for emergencies. They can be used as preventative measures or as a source of ongoing support for individuals struggling with mental health issues. The key is to familiarize yourself with these resources before a crisis occurs. This way, you'll be better prepared to handle any situation that arises. Don't forget, you are not alone. There are countless individuals and organizations out there ready to provide you with the support you need. And with these resources in your back pocket, you're already one step ahead. With these resources at your fingertips, you can be better prepared to handle a mental health crisis. Let's put this into context with some real-life scenarios. Imagine you're at a local park and you see a man who's visibly upset, pacing back and forth and talking to himself. The typical response might be to call the police, right? But instead, you could reach out to a mental health crisis response team. These specialists are trained to de-escalate situations and provide immediate psychological care, focusing on the person's well-being rather than imposing punitive measures. Now, consider a different scenario. You're at a friend's house and they've had a bit too much to drink. They start to become aggressive, and you become concerned for their safety. Again, the instinct might be to call the police, but there is another option. A detox or sobering center can provide immediate help, ensuring your friend's safety, while they sober up, without the risk of arrest or criminal charges. And what about a situation where a loved one reveals they're having suicidal thoughts? This is a terrifying situation to be in, and it's easy to panic and call 911. But remember, there are hotlines specifically designed to handle this type of crisis. Trained professionals at suicide prevention hotlines can provide immediate support and guide you through the process of helping your loved one. Or let's say you're a teacher and one of your students is acting out of character, showing signs of severe emotional distress. Instead of involving school security or the police, you could engage the schools. mental health counselor, or a local crisis intervention team. Their expertise in mental health can help the student navigate their feelings and connect them with the necessary resources. As we navigate these scenarios, it's clear that while the police have a role in society, they're not always the most appropriate or beneficial response to a mental health crisis. There are many alternatives available, specifically designed to provide compassionate, effective care in these situations. As these scenarios illustrate, there are more effective ways to respond to mental health crises than calling the police. Lastly, let's talk about the role of community support and education in responding to mental health crises. We all know that old saying, "It takes a village." Well, this is not just a charming idiom. It's a profound truth, especially when it comes to mental health. Community support and education are vital in preventing mental health crises. When we, as a community, understand the signs and symptoms of mental health issues, we're better equipped to provide early intervention, potentially averting a crisis. It's about knowing when a friend's silence is more than just quiet, or when a neighbor's withdrawal is not simply a desire for solitude. It's about recognizing these signs and knowing how to reach out. Moreover, community education helps in destigmatizing mental health. Stigma, that insidious societal monster, often prevents individuals from seeking help. They fear judgment, isolation, or misunderstanding. But when we educate ourselves and others, we start chipping away at that stigma. We create a safer space for conversations about mental health, encouraging those in need to seek help. Promoting resources within the community is another crucial aspect. It's not enough to just have resources available. People need to know about them. This could be as simple as sharing information about local mental health clinics or crisis lines. Or it could involve organizing mental health fairs or community talks. The more we spread the word, the more people we can reach. And let's not forget the power of peer support. Sometimes knowing someone else has walked the same path can be incredibly comforting. Peer support groups, either in person or online, offer a space for shared experiences, mutual understanding, and empathy. In conclusion, community support and education are not just nice extras in the realm of mental health. They are essential elements, powerful tools that can help prevent crises, provide support, and foster understanding. Together, we can create a safer and more compassionate response to mental health crises. Thanks for watching. Embrace the shadows, hit subscribe, and stay tuned for our next video. Until then, harness the darkness and forge your path to greatness.